You said you were going to tell me more about the Devil's former band.
Didn't you say you wanted to find this Liechtenstein fella first?
What if I bumped into one of them by chance on my way to Kuttenberg?
Right. I suppose it's possible. Anyway, only a few fellas out of the whole glorious pack survived the shitstorm, and it's not certain they are still alive. As far as I know, Matthew, Bahuta, Raniak, Janosch, and Eder survived. I only know where to find Bahuta. And maybe Matthew. But who knows?
Tell me about Bahuta first. Who is he, anyway?
Well, Bahuta, he was always in trouble. Angry as a dog and covered in bruises. He and his brother could drink all the beer in the inn. Just the two of them. Then they would make a terrible ruckus.
It sounds like you three would get along well. But you said his brother was dead.
Yes, he died right before Bahuta's eyes. Not pretty. Bahuta has been acting weird ever since. He dropped everything overnight and turned to prayer. As if he was scared of being next in line.
Where can I find Bahuta?
At the rectory in Grunt. He helps out with the church.
Did you ever see him again after they caught the devil?
Yeah. But there was no reasoning with him.
Do you think it'll be different now?
Look, I don't know. Maybe when he hears the devil's back, he will come to his senses. But I doubt it.
I'll go over there and try to talk him into it. There's no harm in trying.
But be careful. Bahuta was never far from giving someone a beating. Maybe he's still got that in him. It was Slavik who kept him from ending up on the gallows because of a fight. Oh, but he's already with the Lord.
Now tell me something about this Matthew fella. Someone with a name like that surely can't be all bad.
The name may be pretty, but he's as ugly as sin. You better not stare at him too much. It is not good for your stomach. He's also a damn willy bastard. People say he likes to rob on trade routes, telling his victims he's collecting tax for the king.
And where do I find him?
I hear there's someone robbing merchants on the roads near Miskovitz. That would be fitting for him. Maybe the bailiff can tell you more. It's practically happening in his yard.
If he's so crooked, why did you take him into your band in the first place?
Nasty characters are more suited to our line of work. It is much harder to convince good people to do bad things.
What about me? Am I not a good person?
Well, that's true. I hope you're not a spy who will rat us all out to Sigismund.
What about the rest of the band? You mentioned more than one person.
Of course. That leaves Janosch, Eder and Raniak. I don't know where they are, but I can tell you about them.
Who is this Adder? What kind of nickname is that, anyway?
Oh, that's easy. He's called Eder because he can't keep his snake in his breeches. He's Polish. He does not speak our tongue, so only Janosch can speak to him, really. But otherwise, he's a fucking hilarious. And when shit gets tough, he can really handle it.
Do you know where he could be?
I have no idea. But if you find Janosch, Eder will be nearby. The two of them are practically inseparable.
How am I supposed to communicate with Adder? I don't speak a word of Polish.
Yes, you do. We all say kurwa. You must use your hands and feet for the rest. I always manage, and so will you.
Tell me more about this Raniak.
Raniak has a great aim. Slightly better than me, even. Oh, and that bow of his, I tell you, is a masterpiece. That is how you will know it is him.
How did he get that bow?
How do you think? He won it playing dice. But that was the first and last time he ever won anything. If anyone is really unlucky, it is him. But he would not stop if you were to cut off his hands.
Do you have any idea how I could find him?
Oh, I don't know anything about him. Try asking around at inns where they play dice. It is possible he lost his hose in one of them.
Did you ever see him again after the devil was captured?
Oh, just once. He wanted me to lend him money. He did not have any to bet with. But I was skinned and looking for a way to get the devil out of jail. Either way, I told him to fuck off, and he listened to me.
Tell me about this Janos.
Janos? He's from Hungary. He speaks like a Tatar, but at least you can understand him a little, unlike Ada.
And how did he get here? Did he defect from Sigismund?
Not at all. He did something back home, had the gallows waiting for him, so he fled to Moravia. He was having the time of his life until recently. Wine, women, and song. But now he has problems because people take him for a human. But if you knew how he can cook, give him a dead rat and half a carrot, and he will cook you a 3-course dinner.
How can I recognize this Janos?
Like I said, he looks a bit like a human. He speaks almost like we do, but in a queer way. Where you talk to him, you will definitely notice it.
I'm already liking this Janos. I think we'll get along well.
Janos? Why?
I like girls. I like looking at them. And if they want, I have a little fun with them.
Oh, then you can shake hands with Ada. He would get himself killed just to get his prick wet.
Thanks. I'll go and look for them.
They may sound like a bunch of morons as I tell it, but they will be damn useful to us. Good luck!
Quick! God! Quick! Quick! God! Whoa!
Praise the Lord.
Fuck me. Greetings. Do you need something?
I heard you hold fights here, and I'd like to know more.
What would you like to know?
What fighters do you have here?
Stanley is the strongest. He works on the farm and's quite a big mouth on him, but he has the strength of 2 men. After him, Tuma, a farmer from across the way. He's quite a bit older than me, but don't let that fool ya. He has a steady hand and bloody good aim with it. And last and maybe least is Darling.
Darling?
He's kind of like the local buffoon. His name's Tobias, but everyone just calls him Darling. When he was a wee lad, he fell on his head from a rotting ladder, and he's never been the same since. He takes care of his aunt's horses and dogs in Grund.
He doesn't sound like an opponent to be feared.
Because he isn't. He's quite a lout, but he doesn't know the first thing about fighting. He hasn't won a single fight. But it's not that he doesn't try.
Where do your fights take place?
That old Chucha's.
And who might that be?
Chucho is our hog. We fight in his pen. He doesn't care. He always just hides in his pigsty.
I reckon I can find that.
I'm certain you can. Just follow your nose.
Can I get involved too?
Why not? It'll be good to have some new blood, and maybe you'll learn something from each other. Do you have any experience?
Well, I haven't won any tournaments here yet, but I've knocked a few people around.
Well, you'll see if that'll be enough.
And if I manage to beat them all?
Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Darling may be a bumbler, but Stanley and Tuma are no pushovers. Well, if you pull it off, you certainly won't come up short. It was good to see you, my friend.
Oh, he's...
So, Tobias, do you enjoy fighting?
Do I know you?
I'm Henry. Young Bruthans told me you're learning to fight. How are you faring?
Well, it's not going so well.
You don't have to do it, you know. What do you get out of being beaten time and again?
I have to. I have to beat Stanley, so they'll leave me alone.
Sometimes it's best to explain things with your fists.
Only it's always me who gets the explanation.
Well, how about trying your luck against me?
Why not? Do you have any money? We can bet, and whoever wins gets everything.
That sounds good. I agree.
Get ready, then. Oh, and this is yours. Take it all. Now you can challenge Tuma. I like him. He's funny and kind. Not like Stanley.
Am I transparent or what? Here I am.
I'm sorry. You look like a merry bloke. What do you like about the fights?
I'm a simple man. I like a good laugh and sometimes I like to punch someone.
That's it.
I swear. I do it because I enjoy it. That's not so strange, is it?
Shall we fight?
But of course. And before we get started, let's bet.
If you say so. Here you go.
Thanks very much. And now fight.
Come on! Move, you!
You call yourself a fighter? Here, chew on this. Gosh, I feel like I've been split in half.
Thanks for the fight.
Aye, you're welcome. I should be thanking the big man on the sky that I can still walk. Here, take it all and don't spend it at once.
Thanks.
Doing all right so far, but you're not gonna beat me.
Why are you always picking on Tobias?
Just take a look at him. If he was any dumber, he'd be eating out of a trough with the pigs. Do you know he talks to animals? He talks to his mutts like they understand him. He'd be better off barking and pissing on the fence like them. But when we managed to get him drunk, now that's fun.
Tobias goes drinking with you?
No, but all you have to do is give him wine and tell him it's apple cider. A little of that and he's completely wasted. Then you should see the shit he gets up to. The last time that idiot almost drowned because he went to fish the moon out of the pond. We told him it was a silver platter.
Find something better to do, and leave Tobias alone.
Mind your own business. I reckon that moron doesn't even know when someone's yanking his pizzle. Lord knows if there's anything left in that hollow of his.
Do you want to fight?
Sure, I could go for one. Do you have money to bet?
Of course.
I'm glad to hear it. Get ready and we can get started.
Harder than you.
Who wants to knock you on your ass? I'll piss in your face. I'll paint you black and blue.
I'll crush you!
I'll paint you black and blue.
I'll break your bones!
Who wants to knock you on your ass? I'll piss in your face. Who wants to knock... Sacre! I reckon I...
Thanks for the fight.
Here's your bet. And a little on top. I don't like giving it up, but I keep my word. And don't forget to go and see Tomlin. His jaw's gonna drop when he hears some out of town and kicked all our asses.
Excuse me.
I beat all your men.
Well, I'm jiggered. But I'm impressed. You're good. Here you go. We know how to appreciate a good fighter here. Not long ago, I heard the hired hands in Miskovitz spend the long hours away by fighting. You can go see for yourself if it's true.
That sounds quite good.
And in Kuttenberg, they fight in a tavern called the Hole in the Wall. The name suits it perfectly. So don't expect to be treated kindly.
That sounds worse. But I'll see. Maybe I'll go there and take a look sometime.
Oh, by the way, Darling was looking for you. Go and see him. He'll be glad. Take care, friend.
Do you need something of me?
Well, I wanted to ask you for something.
Pray tell. What's it about?
You wouldn't want to have another bout, would you?
Right now?
Well, yeah.
Why? I already beat you. And Tuma and Stanley, too.
Exactly. So I figured that if I beat you now, you'll still win overall. But if Stanley saw me beat someone that kicked his ass, maybe he'd leave me alone.
And do you think you'd stand a chance to beat me?
Well, that's just it. I'd need you to help me a little.
Look, wouldn't you rather learn how to fight properly? I'll be happy to train you.
I don't know if it's a good idea. Auntie says I'm a little slow.
Oh, you'll manage. Knocking someone's teeth out is actually pretty simple. And you've got the strength of 3 men. So there's nothing for you to be afraid of.
Well, all right. Oof, I can't anymore.
Me neither. Let's take a break.
Do you think I stand a chance against Stanley now?
Definitely a better chance than if you pretended to beat me, but still knew nothing. I'm not saying you'll beat him to a pulp now, but at least you should be able to hit back.
Thanks, Emery. You're a true friend.
You're welcome.
Hey, do you like horses or dogs?
Of course I do.
Me too. I knew right away you like animals. I can tell. Come see me in Grund sometime. I'll take care of the horses and hands, and I'll tell you all about them.
You said you could teach me something. Like what?
Well, I don't know much, but I do understand animals. That's for sure.
You take care of dogs and horses here, right?
Aye, they're my favourite. They're kind, They don't hurt you or curse you, and when you're sad, they look at you with those big eyes of theirs. They don't even need to say anything, yet you feel better right away.
You see? I'm sure you know a few tricks.
Can I have a few groschen for my trouble?
Of course. Tit for tat.
Thanks. So, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you know when your horse is hurt?
That's easy. If you let him, he'll tell you if you've got the time.
I'd like to learn a few...
Can I have a few groschen?
Of course.
Thanks.
And what if my...
They do if you've got the time.
Careful. Respects. You have a kind master. Eh, Matt?
God! Go! Quick! Ja! Ja! Go! Ja! 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 Praised be Jesus Christ.
Now and forever.
Excuse me, are you Behuta by any chance?
That's right, I am. If you're here to right old wrongs, be my guest. God knows I deserve it.
I don't need to right any wrongs. The devil sent me to see if you would rejoin his band.
He is free, and he still hasn't learned. Anyway, tell him I'm definitely not going back to that life.
Why don't you want to go back?
I want to reform myself, to redeem myself before the Lord God, and to earn his absolution. There is no way to do that if I am with the devil.
I'd like to find the rest of the devil's pack. Do you know anything about any of them?
Just Ranyek. It has been a few days since he was here.
What did he want from you?
He was begging me for some coin. He said he had a game in Pshitoki, and that he would definitely win this time. As always.
Ranyek still hasn't given up dice, eh?
That fella will never learn, and he's already lost everything. He won a really nice bow once, and he's had nothing but bad luck ever since.
Do you know where I could find him now?
Last time he told me he had a game arranged in Pshitoki. Maybe he's still there.
Thanks. I'll be on my way. I probably won't convince you anyway.
Hold on. While you're here, we can pray for the devil's soul together. God knows he needs it badly.
We can. though I don't know if it'll help anything.
Every soul can be reformed if it so desires and sincerely repents of its sins. Look at me. I used to kill, drink, spend nights with whores, but I learned that it was the wrong way, and now I'm trying to make amends.
Why all of a sudden?
Come pray with me and I'll tell you. Hey, how did you get involved with the devil anyway?
By accident. It was thanks to Jan Žižka.
So, you know Žižka too. Where from?
It's a long story. But if you came to the Devil's Den, I'll tell you all about it over a beer.
Nice try, lad, but I'm staying away from the drink. It's just not worth it. What do you think of the devil anyway?
I trust Žižka to know what he's doing. He knows the devil pretty well.
Žižka is slightly less of a bastard than the devil. I don't know how he can stand him. The ends justify the means, I suppose. When your neck is on the line, you'd better be sure those two bastards are worth it.
Where did you say you wanted to pray?
Right here, at my brother's grave.
Is that Slavek's grave?
You know my brother's name?
Aye. Kubienka told me about you both.
Aye, we were in the band together, but the priest was kind enough to let me bury him here.
Was that important to you?
It was. When Slavek was killed and the band broke up, I didn't know what to do. Father Havel put a roof over my head and showed me a completely different life than I had known before then. Together with my brother, I buried my past here and vowed over his grave that I would never harm another living soul.
This is where you want to pray for the devil?
Here is where I found reconciliation and peace of mind. Where else should I pray for the devil to find his own?
Why did you decide to leave everything behind and start a new life here?
Because of my brother. I was with him in his last moments. He was completely overcome with horror. I never thought he could be so scared.
But you must have been used to seeing death.
He did not fear death, but what comes next? He knew the kind of life he had led, and everything he was responsible for. Now he's paying for it. It may be foolish, but I believe that if I reform myself before the Lord God, he might forgive Slavik too.
Don't you want to help the devil?
That's not up to me. He has to help himself. I can only pray for him.
Well, that's not going to help him much. He needs you, not your prayers.
I can give him nothing more than a sincere prayer.
Prayer certainly can't hurt, but do you think it will be enough?
Enough for starters. What more do you want?
Your muscles. The devil told me you're as strong as a bull when you're furious.
And here I was, thinking you wanted to set the devil on the right path. Listen to me very carefully, you brat. Either we pray, or I'll show you what these muscles are capable of.
Oh. Aye, all right. Let's pray for him together, then.
Yes, that would be best. Aye, but it's Latin, so listen carefully and repeat after me. Pater Noster, qui is in careless, sanctify cater, or no man's tomb. Adventure ad rectum to whom, fet voluminous to her, seek it, inhale it, enter her. Your turn now.
You're saying it wrong. Listen. It goes like this. Pater Noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum. Adveniat regnum tuum. Fiat voluntas tua. Sicut in celo et in terra.
All right, I know the rest. Panem most room. Quote, idi.
Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo.
Amen. I know it too. That's all I can do for the devil, so you'd better get going now, eh?
May God give you health, sir.
How's life been treating you, innkeeper?
Fine, thanks for asking. The foundry workers are always mighty thirsty in the evening after slaving away at those hot furnaces all day long. They drink so much ale, I can hardly keep up with bringing it over.
So?
So, I can't really complain. I'm not the type of innkeeper to get an inn only to complain about it being full.
What's life like here? Is there anything new?
We live the best we can. The silver works are operating at full capacity, and the stables are doing well too, from what I've heard. If only those Hungarian bastards would fuck off already. That reminds me.
Christ.
Do you need a horse by any chance?
Hold up.
Our Hannah is the local expert. I'm sure she'd be happy to help you.
What's new around here?
Well, Zadmira Blacksmith had one too many a while back and told me some curious things. His wife was having an affair with Tomlin Brutons from Horsham, but then she sent her Zadmir to rough Tomlin up. I've no idea how things are between them. Strange thing is, Zadmir's a big fella, but Tomlin still beat the shit out of him. Don't mention it to Zadmir, though. He was all upset about it. But you could ask Kona, his wife. You might find out what's really going on there. And I also know Zadmir the blacksmith finally got himself a new apprentice. He was cursing for ages that he couldn't find anyone who could hold a hammer properly. Maybe he'll be satisfied now. I also heard there are some disputes among the miners. I don't know what it's about, but I heard it has something to do with their traditional archery contest. If you're interested, go and see the foreman Vlach in the Black Horse Tavern. And that's about it.
Interesting news. Thank you, innkeeper. Can I spend the night?
We're not...
I'll pay you well if you let me spend the night here.
Forgive me, sir. Unless you want to sleep...
That doesn't matter. All right. I hope that'll be in.
Thank you. And a good night. Sir.
No great loss. The Lord be with you. What do you need? Good day to you. What would you...
That's a load of shit. Good to see you.
Greetings.
You shouldn't be loitering around here.
Grosh told me over a few beers that you had a thing with someone from Horshan, and your husband got battered because of it.
Merciful Mary, so Grosh has been blabbing about me to God knows who. The shame of it. I'll have you know I did no such thing. I'm an honest woman.
My apologies. I'm merely repeating what I heard. So how are things between you?
There's a powerful protective charm I desperately need. A Thunderstone. It's a great rarity. But Tomlin Bruthans from Horshan has one. He just won't let me have it. The thing is, he sometimes wages it in fights.
I see. Now it all makes sense to me. So that's why your husband fought him.
Exactly. You see, nothing dishonest. But Stimir is feeling ashamed that young Bruthans gave him a thrashing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you want me to fight Tomlin and win the stone for you?
Well, yeah. And I know I'm asking a lot, but I'm really desperate. And I have no one else to turn to. I prayed fervently to the Virgin Mary and implored her for help. And now you've shown up. Besides, by the looks of you, you have the strength of a bull, perhaps two. So she surely sent you to help me.
What is a Thunderstone?
Well, they're formed when there's a violent storm with forks of lightning and peals of thunder. The biggest of these are Thunderstones. They fall from the sky with a mighty boom and burrow deep into the earth. After a while, they work their way back up to the surface. And if you're lucky, that's where you'll find them.
What can these stones do?
Well, lots of things. If you have one, it protects you from all harm, helps you in battle, and brings good luck. It also wards off and cures diseases. And if you put it into the rafters of your cottage, you'll be protected from fire and all manner of other calamities.
What does the Thunderstone look like?
Well, from what I saw of Tomlin's, it's the size of a grown man's fist, perhaps a tad bigger, sort of elongated and curiously shaped. It's flat on one side and has a round hole through the middle.
Why are you so desperate for this piece of rock?
That's my business.
Look, if I'm to help you, I need to know what you're going to do with this stone. I don't want to get caught up in any witchcraft.
This is no witchcraft. It's just... Fine. Listen, I'm afraid for my child. And myself. All my babies died shortly after birth. Bless their souls. And birthing is very hard for me. I nearly died last time. The stone has the power to help me and protect my next infant. That's why I want it.
Look, this Tomlin seems pretty handy. I'd have to be daft in the head to fight someone like that. Especially when there's another way. What if he were to just lose the stone? These things happen, don't they?
You mean... No, that wouldn't do. You're asking for trouble if you steal something like that. It would cause very bad luck. Besides, I'm of honest stock.
Oh, I understand. No offence, I just wanted to look at all our options.
A fair fight is our only hope, believe me.
All right, I'll help with your trouble.
Mary, Mother of Mercy, thanks be to the both of you. This means so much to me.
Save your thanks for when I bring it to you.
I shall. Don't you worry about that. We've got some groschen put by, so you'll be handsomely rewarded. I'm also on good terms with Hannah, so I could put a word in for you at the stud farm. She'll give a generous discount if you want to buy a horse from her. And I'll pray and intercede for you, I swear.
Hold on. You said the stone helps its owner in a fight?
Among other things. Yes, that's what I heard.
So how the hell am I supposed to beat Tomlin when he's got the power of this stone on his side?
Well, it won't be easy. You're right about that. You can talk to Stimir. He fought Tomlin, so he might have some ideas. Or, over in Horshan, I think the lads there wrestle a lot, and Tomlin is in charge of that. That might help. Most importantly, keep your hopes up, and don't let him intimidate you. Ours is a just cause, so Lady Fortune and all the saints are sure to be on your side, and that must count for something.
Well, it's not going to be easy. But David defeated Goliath, didn't he?
Oh, that's a good point. Glory to David, and to you. Take care now.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
Greetings. What do you need?
Rumour has it you have a very skilled apprentice.
Matthias? That's right. The lad has got a God-given talent. Just look at this dagger he made me. Have you ever seen such fine work?
Pretty good work. For a village blacksmith. I expected worse.
Village blacksmith? What are you yammering about, you horse face? You've never seen anything so fine in your entire life.
Calm down. I'm telling you, I've been forging daggers like this with my father since I was a young lad.
Know what, you master of masters? I bet my apprentice is a better blacksmith than you. What do you say?
How would a bet like that work?
You'll give me a few groschen as a deposit and forge a hunting sword. Matthias is just working on one now. And if you forge a better one, you'll get both swords and I'll give you back twice as many groschen.
And of course, you'll be the judge, right?
Well, of course. But I'll decide fairly, don't you worry.
And what if my sword isn't better?
Then you lose and I keep the groschen. What else? Am I supposed to stick them up my arse? Do you take the bet or not?
I accept. I'll knock you down a peg and make some money while I'm at it.
You haven't won yet, Master Blacksmith. How are things at home?
Hey you, Zdimir.
I got battered, and I'm not proud of it, so I'd rather not dwell on it.
Look, I want to help Kona get that stone, so I could really use your experience.
Ah, I see. All right then. And thanks a lot for wanting to help us.
So tell me, how can I beat Tomlin?
Look at it this way. I'm bigger, but he's faster. So I thought that if I got up really close to him, he'd lose that advantage and I'd use brute force to overcome him.
Brute force alone seldom works. That kind of blunt approach only works on opponents who don't know how to fight.
Look, are you here to give advice or take it? Although, yeah, you're right. I've experienced that for myself. I tried a few times. But whenever I went to grab him, he'd wriggle out of the way. Then, during one attempt, he grabbed my hand, tripped me, and put me in a headlock. At which point all I could do was eat dirt in that pigsty where Tomlin likes to fight.
I could put a bit of iron in my glove. Then I'll strike him like an anvil. And if he's not expecting it, he'll drop like a stone. Do you have any?
Fuck me. I don't know where you came up with such a trick. but it's no use here. It's bare-knuckle fighting with Tomlin.
Bollocks.
So my advice would be to do exactly what I did. Just be careful not to get caught like I was. He looks a bit of a milksop at first glance, but he's as strong as an ox. Keep a safe distance. Avoid making pointless strikes, and only attack him when you're sure it'll work. And when, or rather if, you manage to grab him, pound him as hard as you can. Don't let up, and don't give him a chance to turn around.
Sound advice. That makes sense. I'll try that. Do you believe in the power of thunderstones?
Of course. How else could Tomlin beat me but with the stone's help? A thunderstone is a rare and powerful thing. It's not a matter of belief. That's just the way it is. Just like when you build a cottage or a barn. You put a dead chicken or cock under the threshold to protect against disease and evil forces. You bury a pot with a few groschen and other small treasures in the corner of the room to bring the farm good fortune and protection. And on the roof, it's best to plant common house leek so lightning doesn't strike the building and set it on fire.
Wise words. When I settle down, I'll remember your advice, and I'll be sure to put house leek on top of my forge. I brought you the hunting sword.
Aye, I saw you work. You shouldn't hunch over the anvil so much. Your back will ache when you're as old as I am.
Right. Thanks for the advice. Can we get on with our bet?
All right, all right. Wait here. I'll go and fetch Matthias, and we'll see which one of you is the better blacksmith. Well then, let's see what you made.
Feast your eyes.
What about you, Matthias?
Here it is, master.
Let's see here. That's impossible. Such balance. I'm sorry, Matthias, but his sword is better.
What?
Listen, lad. You're wasting your talent here. If you're ever in Kuttenberg, ask for Nicholas Crondall. He's the best armorsmith in the region. He might take you on as his apprentice.
Thanks for the advice. But where's my prize?
Here's your money.
Thank you kindly, master. And you, give me the sword.
What? Forget it. That blade of yours will fall apart any moment anyway. It may look nice, but if we're fighting with them, I'd slice you to ribbons.
Take a good look at me, you yokel. You really want to fight me? You might end up losing your head as well as your sword.
All right, calm down, mate.
We don't want any trouble.
I knew I must have misheard you. You said you were giving me your sword, and with pleasure, didn't you?
You can shove it for all I care.
A good day to you, too. And if you ever feel like holding another contest like this, I'd love to take part.
Greetings. Do you need something?
Hey, Tomlin. People around here tell me you have a thunderstone.
People say all sorts of things.
They also say if I beat you in a fight, it's mine.
Those days are over. There was a time I'd put it up for grabs in fights with cocky fools. That much is true. I even had a couple of craftsmen come from the burg to try their luck. But everyone got a thrashing. Well, then I decided to retire. It didn't seem right, and my conscience was getting the better of me. Well, as for you, you've cut the locals down to size. Impressive work. So there's nothing here for you now. But if those fists of yours are still itching, you could try your luck over in Miskovitz. Blood runs hot in those lads, so you'll fit right in like a thumb up an arse. And if you're as stupid as you are brave, there's a shit pit in the burg they call the Hole. They're hard as nails there. Beat the shit out of each other with iron gloves. Fucked up if you ask me, but each to his own.
Look, that's all very well, but it's you I'm here to fight. For the Thunderstone.
Fuck's sake! You're a bleeding half-wit, aren't ya? Let's try again. I'm not fighting for the stone anymore. I found it. It's mine. I'm keeping it.
I challenge you to a fight. Let's fight for the Thunderstone. Or have I made you shit your brays?
The only shit being spouted here is from your mouth. You know you can't win, don't ya? No one's beaten me for as long as I can remember. And besides, I have the stone. So just back off and forget about it. I'm doing you a favour. Because I want to spare you the embarrassment and some pretty fucking painful bruises.
Look here, big man. I kicked the arses of Stanley and all the others here, with my finger up my nose at that. So I reckon you'll be soft as shit too. But to give the devil his due, I'd still like to find out for myself.
Yeah, I get it. You're provoking me. Nice try. All right, have it your way. If there's one thing I really hate, it's arrogant, cocky outsiders who think they know it all. Prepare for a beating. You know the rules. No armor. Strip down to your waist. Then we'll meet in the pen. You'll place your wager against the stone, and then you'll get an arse kicking.
I'm ready for this.
Always.
You've got the stone?
Don't you worry about that. I don't expect to... Have you got enough?
Here it is.
Trust, but back it up with proof. Well, we have everything we need. Let me just take off my coat.
Give it all you got!
He's out.
Wipe the floor with him! My sister could beat both of you with one hand behind her back.
Oh!
Show him what's more!
Go fuck yourself! Take that, you shit! No! Yield! Aye!
Show him what for! My granny can punch harder than you! Knock his teeth out! Come on, move, you snail! You fight like little girls! You call yourself a
Useless!
My sister could beat both of you with one hand behind her back. Show him what for.
Aye! Fuck that!
Knock his teeth out. You call yourself a fighter? You fight like little girls.
Show your stuff!
My granny can punch harder than you.
Now, mind your own business, will you?
Come now.
I beat you. The prize is mine.
Yeah, you did. But it was close. I almost had you myself.
Close? Not one bit. I was all over you from the start.
Bollocks you were. You're just lucky I fucked up my back yesterday.
No need to be so upset. It's not so bad. Just a little embarrassment and a few bruises, right? But let's not waste time. You owe me my money back, and the stone along with it.
You'll get your money back, goes without saying. Here you are.
Perfect. What about the stone?
Well, I can't give you that. Because I don't have it.
What? But the stone was your stake.
No, it wasn't. It was your idea that if you won, I'd give you the stone. I didn't actually promise you anything like that.
Look, you yokel prick. Don't twist this. You tried to hoodwink me, and now you're playing word games.
I suppose it was a bit sneaky of me. But what the hell? I figured if you were up for a fight, I'd at least make a groschen or two out of it. I just wasn't expecting to lose. That's all.
But people said you have a thunderstone. So it's all horseshit.
No, it wasn't made up. I really did find a thunderstone. And I had it right up until the other day when it was stolen. I didn't want word to get out because I'd look like a right fool. So I acted like nothing happened. I'm sorry for leading you on. I didn't mean any harm.
And do you have any idea who might have stolen it from you?
If you ask me, it was that Hansel from Rabosh and his little mate Peter. They were ever so curious about it right before it disappeared.
And you didn't do anything about it?
Of course I fucking did. I went to wring their necks, but they disappeared like the steam from my piss. They must have seen me and bolted, which only confirmed my suspicions. I haven't had any luck finding them since then, though, and I don't have time to chase them around the countryside. I have the farm to take care of.
All right. I'll have a look for them.
Well, when you get to Rabosh, take the main road away from the fortress until you reach the first farm on the right. There are hired hands there. That much I found out. If you find the stone, please bring it back to me. I'll make sure you're well rewarded. You have my word. I was the one who found it, so by rights, it's mine. It was destined for me. To mess with fate would only bring bad luck and misfortune.
Look, I won fair and square. But I still don't have that thunderstone of yours in my hand. Truth be told, I'm feeling a little cheated. You could at least throw a dog a bone, eh?
Bollocks to that. You got your wager back, so don't be getting greedy now. And you barely won anyway. If you want anything more from me, bring me back my thunderstone.
If you don't cough up, everyone far and wide will hear what a lying bastard you are and how you try to fuck me over.
If you think you can talk shit to Tomlin Brutans, think again.
Tell me, how did you come by the stone in the first place?
That's a secret.
If you came by it honestly, why be so secretive about it?
I'm not hiding anything. I'm just not one to brag, that's all. And until it's back in my hands, I don't want to talk about it.
I can appreciate that, but sharing a story isn't exactly bragging.
All right, then. I found it a couple of years back in a field outside Billany. On the way to Wizard the Quarry. You probably know the place. I was going to take a shortcut through the woods, but there'd been a hell of a storm about a week before. It tore off roofs, carried away some shepherds' huts, even toppled the tower on those fortifications at Gutenberg. And it very nearly flushed us out of here too. A proper act of God it was. Well, the forest was a complete mess, so I couldn't go that way. So I decided I'd go through the field. And all of a sudden, I stumble over something. And what do I see? A thunderstone right under my foot. Stroke of luck it was.
My God, what happened to you?
I got a bit of a scratch somewhere. It's nothing. Go! Whoa! Go! Nice and slow. Whoa! Whoa!
Greetings.
Greetings, how can I help?
I need to find a thunderstone, and I heard you might know of one.
Oh yeah? Who told you that then?
Tomlin over Horsham way told me you pinched his Thunderstone. You and some Hensel fellow. So you better come clean before I let Tomlin beat the truth out of you.
Fuck me! So Bruthan's made you his lackey? As if that stone hasn't caused enough trouble already.
Yes, I'm a lackey, as you say, and I'm not ashamed of it.
All right. I'm a stable boy myself, so basically a lackey too.
So, from one lackey to another, tell me, where's the stone?
We fucked up. And all because of that stupid stone. I wish we'd never taken it.
So Tomlin was right. It was you. Where's the stone now?
I haven't the faintest. It was all Hensel's idea and he had it on him the whole time. And before you ask, no, Hensel's not here. Andrew is holding him captive.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm missing something here, and it's not just the stone. So tell me, what the fuck happened?
We wanted to butcher Andrew Ramhead's band of pillagers, but that's easier said than done. So Hensel got the idea that we could borrow Tomlin Bruthan's magic stone from him to help us fight them like, but Tomlin wasn't having it, so we filched it without him knowing, and then set off after those bandits. But everything went to shit. They caught Hensel and almost killed me and Stislav. So, you come a bit late for that fucking stone. Not that it brought us any luck anyway. If I were you, I'd give it up as a lost cause.
How did your assault go?
Hensel led the way. There was him, me, and Stislav. We wore padded doublets and took hunting knives and axes. Stislav had a bow too. We got within earshot when it all went to shit. Stislav stumbled and yelped. Then they noticed us. After that, everything happened so fast. We charged at them, Hensel up front with us behind. Arrows started raining down. They all missed Hensel, but I was shot in the arm. It hurt like hell. I was screaming and scared shitless. So I took to my heels. I met back here with Stislav. They chased him, but he being so lightly dressed and them in armor, they couldn't keep up.
How many of them were there?
I'd say 5, 6.
You went up against 6 of them?
Of course not. We waited for some of them to go on patrol. That left just 3, though heavily armored they were. If we'd caught them by surprise, it might have worked.
Why did you want to kill them?
Why? To stop them doing mischief round here. We wanted to help the village. We could hide in fear and moan, or do something about it. And we also wanted to make a bit of a name for ourselves among the locals.
It was brave of you. You wanted to do the right thing. I would have done the same.
Not that it did any good, but thanks. All the folk here now take me for a fool. You're the only one to see it differently.
Where's Stislav, anyway?
I don't know. He was a bundle of nerves after what happened. Packed up and left. I've no idea where he went, and I don't blame him. I'm not exactly doing great myself. It really pissed Andrew off, and now he's even nastier to the villagers than before.
Who is this Andrew Ramhead?
A mercenary commander from King Sigismund's army. He's been ordered to guard the roads with his men. Or so he says. But apart from that, they also carry out raids, rob the people, mug merchants and steal cattle. And they make the peasants pay tribute. And of course, after our fuck-up, they've turned the screws and are demanding even more. Another reason for everyone round here to hate me.
What about the Lord in these parts? I mean, there's a fortress here, so he must have plenty of men-at-arms.
Well, the Lord has decreed that no action is to be taken. He says it's better to put up with these fuckers than to flush them out, because that might raise King Sigismund's hackles and he'd only dispatch more troops. That's what I heard, anyway.
Where can I find this, Andrew?
Are you fucking with me?
No. I'm sorry about what happened to you, but I badly need to find that stone. You don't just lose something like that. And from what you said, it seems I don't have much choice.
I'm telling you, that stone's cursed. Weren't you listening to me?
Can you hear yourself? You attacked a band of hardened mercenaries. Anyone else would have paid for that with their life, but not one of you was killed. Not to mention that this Hensel, the one with the stone, wasn't hit by a single arrow. But you were.
Sakra! I never thought of it that way. You know, you might be right.
You see? Now tell me where this camp of theirs is.
You'll come across some ponds between Raborj and Bohunjovic. Near one of them, there's a fork where wayfarers sometimes camp if they're stuck for a place to stay. From that fork, follow the water downstream, and you should find the ruins of an old mill.
And that's where they're holding Hensel? The one with the stone?
Yeah, there. But if I were you, I'd stay off the path. Take the hill and nip through the woods. You'll get to some rocks overlooking the mill. You'll have a bird's eye view of everything from there. That's the way we went too. But make sure they don't spot you. There's a good chance they've upped their guard after our attack.
Sound advice. Thanks.
Look, what's your plan anyway?
Well, I'm thinking if I can find Andrew, I'll find Hensel. And then I'll finally get to the bottom of this shit with the Thunderstone.
Just be careful, because Andrew's a cunning fucker. Look, since you're going there anyway, I know I'm not in a position to ask you for anything, but still, do you think you could rescue Hensel?
Why doesn't the local lord do it?
'Cause he doesn't give a shit, for Christ's sake. He cares nothing for the likes of us, understand? Hensel's just a stable boy who toils with his hands. No lord's going to do a deal with Andrew for him.
And how, pray, do you expect me to do that?
I don't know, just something. 'Cause if you don't, I don't know who will. Andrew's a greedy bastard. Some coin might do it. Or you could sneak in quietly and slip back out with Hensel.
How about I just kill them all?
I thought best not to suggest that. You know how we ended up. But, you know, whatever you think's best. It's just, they're pretty tough and well-armed, you know.
I'll manage somehow. But the whole thing's getting so messy, it's almost like the stone's power is interfering somehow. But if I find a way, I'll help Hensel.
Thank you so much! May all the saints be with you, and I hope you have better luck than we did. Stop that whistling, you're behaving like a child. What is it? Are you whistling just for fun?
Slowly. Nice and slow.
God! 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 Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
You! Get out! Now!
I want to talk to Andrew Ramhead.
All right. You'll
Hey,
find the commander
you
at the
there.
entrance to the
This is a
encampment.
military
But be quick.
encampment,
And no
not
fooling
an
around.
alehouse. So you better have good reason to be here. And I'll be glad to hear it.
I came to talk to you.
Hurry up then. I haven't got all day. Welcome to my humble encampment, lad. In the name of Sigismund, by the grace of God, King of Hungary and Croatia, tell me what you're doing here and what your intentions are.
Kindly spare this man, for he's actually a noble lord. And listen carefully. I am Chenyek of Krumberg, sent by the king's army. The commanders have heard that instead of guarding the roads, you've been robbing and fleecing the local people, and they're bloody livid. So from now on, you'll follow orders or be pilloried and forfeit your pay.
Sorry, sir. It's just, we haven't been paid for a while, so we've been taking a little on the side, here and there. That was the deal, wasn't it? Live off the enemy's land?
Enough of your excuses. Your conduct has been indefensible. You will desist immediately, return what you have plundered, and hand over to me the local stable boy in your custody.
Very well, sir. As you wish. You can take the prisoner right away. He's tied up, back there, in the dilapidated hut. And please, accept this small, humble gift from me, for causing you such a journey to right our wrongs. Have no fear, sir. We'll do everything as you have commanded.
Clear off!
My apologies again.
Before I
sir.
kill you!
I wish you a safe journey.
Scram! Right now!
Hey! By all the saints, don't leave me here! Please, untie me!
Relax. I'm getting there.
Thanks. Thank you so much. You have no idea how grateful I am. But I'm not hanging around here. Fuck, man! I'll tell you whatever you want. but not here.
Clear off!
All right.
Yeah. I am. All things considered. Thanks for rescuing me. You have no idea how grateful I am. God knows what they would have done to me in the end. All that aside, who are you, anyway?
Henry.
I'm Hensel, and I owe you big time, Henry. Though, in all honesty, I'm not sure why I was worth all that trouble. But grateful nonetheless.
Peter told me what happened.
Peter? Well, thank the saints for him. So he's safe and sound, is he?
In a manner of speaking. He got shot, but nothing serious.
What about Stislav?
From what I hear, Stislav made it out unscathed too. But what happened scared him so much he scarpered.
Sakra. At least he's alive. I was worried about them both. It's all my fault, you know. Oh, I dread to think what could have happened to him.
Listen, it wasn't exactly by chance that I ran into Peter either. I was looking for you in the village because of the Thunderstone you stole from Tomlin in Horsham, who, by the way, is royally fucking upset with you.
Well, I suppose I would be too if I were him. But I have to say, the whole Thunderstone idea was the stupidest I've ever had. It brought us no luck, no protection. Well, the opposite, in fact.
Let's forget that for a moment. What I really need to know is where the stone ended up.
You won't be surprised to hear. Ramed snatched it from me when I was captured. He didn't believe it had any powers, but he has a nose for money. That's all that matters to him. From what I heard, he sold it in Sukdal to some farmer's wife, I think he said, Mlada or something, well, from the edge of the village.
Sakra, that stone really is cursed. Well, there's nothing for it. I'm off to Sukdal.
Hold your horses. That wasn't the only thing I heard. There's this pond below Raborsh, right? And on the bank, across from the village, there's a small crag. Somewhere around there, they hid some of their spoils.
Clever. Take what you can, and stash the rest for later.
I'd have helped myself to it, but think of it as my way of thanking you. I just hope they weren't making it up, and you find something there.
I'll take a look around and see. Thanks for telling me.
Well, it's the least I can do. And good luck with that bloody stone. Though my advice would be to steer well clear of it.
I'm still curious about you.
Well, as you wish.
Tell me the whole story from the beginning.
Well, it just pissed us off how Andrew was always extorting and bullying everyone. And not just us. The local lord who did nothing about it. And everybody in the village kept grumbling, but nobody took any action. I knew about Tomlin's stone, and I thought that with its help, we'd have the edge on them. That we'd help the people in the village. And make a bit of a name for ourselves around here. So when he refused to give it to us, I borrowed it from him. Well, I was thinking we'd give it back as soon as we'd sorted Andrew out. I'm serious. I swear.
And what about your expedition?
Well, first, we scouted the place on the sly, and then waited for some of his men to go out on patrol. We armed ourselves as best we could, and made our move. From the top of that rock there. We were almost there, but then Stislav stumbled or something. Made a ruckus, and they spotted us. After that, everything happened so fast. I hollered and lunged at them. Peter was yelling something, so I thought he was behind me. All these shots were whizzing past as I charged at them, but nothing hit me. Well, then I got stuck in. They outnumbered us. In the end, I took a blow to the head. That was pretty much it for me.
What happened after you were captured?
I was scared, shitless. I thought they were going to kill me. One of them suggested just leaving me tied up in the woods or drowning me. But thankfully, Andrew disagreed. So they held me prisoner. I don't even know why.
And this Andrew and his soldiers, what were they doing here?
Andrew Ramed, they called him. He had this handsome hammer, shaped like a ram it was. And that's what they say he named himself after. Their orders were to keep watch out here. They had their own ideas of what that meant. They fleeced wayfarers, merchants, locals, wherever they could. No one was safe. They often grumbled that the army wasn't paying them properly. But if you ask me, they more than made up for it on the side. They even took someone's cow.
What are you going to do now?
Oh, I don't know. Same as before, I suppose. There's nothing to keep us here, but I can see Peter and me staying another summer. Perhaps longer. I mean, it's nice here, and the village is protected by a strong fortress. It's a good place, if you ask me. You never know. I might find myself a piece of land, or marry into some.
When someone thinks he's above
Whoa.
and even the king has to answer to God's law. This man, though, he laughs at the law. He broke into the house of his neighbour, an honest businessman supporting his family.
Not your
He
day,
waited
eh?
till they were all asleep, forced the lock, and just wandered in.
What did he
and
do?
There he stole
Nothing.
everything he could
Really?
lay his hands
Were you
on.
expecting a
Just
different
listen.
answer?
Coin, jewellery,
What if I freed you?
silver goblet,
I'd scarper,
2 pairs of
obviously.
shoes, a sack of
How's it
carrots,
going?
and a nearly new jacket.
I expect that's not very
And what did he
comfortable
do
on
then?
your back.
He went
Fuck
down
my
the road and
back.
tried to
I
flog
can
it all.
hardly feel it
He
anymore.
said he bought everything from merchants and peddlers.
Good afternoon, sir.
I heard you bought a thunderstone from Andrew Ramhead. Is that so?
Well, it is. What's it to you?
Andrew Ramhead took it from Hensel from Raborsh, who in turn stole it from Tomlin Brookhans down Horshan way.
And? I don't know those people. Even if it's true, I knew nothing about it. I bought the stone fair and square, and for good money. My husband's gravely ill and nothing's helping. The stone is to heal him.
And what ails your husband?
Peter went to lie down one afternoon and he hasn't budged since. He's not eating, and he's barely talking to anyone. What's worse, soon after he took ill, a Minerva owl perched on the roof one evening.
I understand.
That's why I need the stone. If it weren't for the stone, I'm sure Peter would be gone by now.
So am I to understand that if your husband heals, you won't need the stone?
Well, a stone like this is a precious thing. It can still protect us from all manner of misfortune.
But you bought it to save your husband.
That may be, But I'll not be wanting to lose that stone.
How about this? I'll try to help your husband, and if I succeed, you'll gift me the stone.
Why would I do that? The stone is bound to help him.
What if the power of the stone brought me here to help your husband?
I hadn't thought of it like that.
So, how about we make a deal?
All right, but only if you help him.
Of course. I'll take a look at him and see what I can do.
And please hurry. With that owl and everything, I'm quite sure the Reaper's nearby. You'll find Peter in his room.
All right. I'll take a look at him and see if there's anything I can do. It's usually a good idea to speak to others who are close to the sufferer. That may be able to explain a few things, especially if the patient himself isn't very communicative.
Aha. I see you really have done this before. I'm starting to believe that stone really did draw you here. So, ask around on the farm if you need to. We'll all be at your service.
Perfect. I'll get on with it. And I'd better check the whole room, just in case.
Do whatever it takes to help Peter.
Can you think of something that might help me heal it? Anything?
I can't. I'm desperate myself. I've tried just about everything. Peter is just an ordinary cooper. We've lived here for years. We go to church. My husband doesn't travel outside the village often. This last time he had some business in Pechgau, near Kolin, but he came back empty-handed. Breathless and confused. He was fumbling around here for a few days, not doing his job, just spending time in his workshop. Lord knows what he was doing in there. Then he went to bed, and since then, he's just been lying there. He doesn't eat. Not even the potions are helping. He doesn't sleep a wink at night. At least, I don't think he does. If I stopped sleeping too, our homestead would fall apart.
I'll ask him why he can't sleep. What's tormenting him?
Try that. He won't speak to me about anything. It's as if he was keeping secrets from me. Or maybe just protecting me from something. See you later, my friend.
Peter, my name is Henry. I'm here to help you.
Another poor bloke that's to deal with me, as if Marder didn't have enough on her plate already.
I'll try to figure out what's wrong with you.
Hmm?
I'll examine you. Just by eye. Pale skin. Dark circles under the eyes. A downcast expression on the face. I don't see any bruises. A few calluses and cuts on the hands. Nothing unusual for a craftsman after a hard day in the workshop.
I told you. I'm not in any pain. Just let me lie here.
Irritability. No foul odour. Bodily humours aren't leaking. And you aren't bleeding.
But I will, when Sigismund's horde gets here.
Why would Sigismund attack Suchtal?
He does as he pleases. You have no idea how many villages he's plundered already.
I reckon attacking a village protected by a fortress is the last thing Sigismund would want to do now.
The fortress is what's bothering him. That's why he'll destroy it. And us with it.
I don't know about that. Don't be alarmed. I need to take a closer look. Let's see. No swelling. No cancer on the skin. Does this hurt?
Nothing hurts.
Your palms are cold. Your muscles are tense. And your heart's pounding so hard you could hear it all the way to Prague. You seem like you're ready to fight. Or flee.
They're getting close now.
Who is?
The soldiers. Sigismund's men.
Well, physically, you seem fine, Peter. It's strange.
I'm a weakling. A weakling.
What are your nights like? Mladder said you don't sleep much.
I just stare at the wall. I try to sleep during the day, but it's not much better.
Well, it's certainly no fever or pain that's ailing you. I assume it's dark thoughts that keep you up at night.
I can't fall asleep. Because of all the noblemen who keep coming to Lord Pisek's fortress, I'm always hearing hoofbeats, and they startle me.
So Lord Pisek likes to host nobles at his fortress? What's so unusual about that?
And what do you think they're doing here, eh? Preparing for war. That's what.
If Lord Pisek was about to go to war, he'd be gathering a lot more men here than a couple of nobles.
Folk ought to be scared to leave the village. Mezoles is gone. And when I saw Abatovitz, Suchtol is next. I'm sure of it.
What am I going to do with you, Peter? What am I going to do? There's nothing wrong with you physically, so it must be an ailment of the soul. The chamomile decoctions will help calm your mind, but you'll have to change your diet as well, so you don't just drink potions. And last but not least, some words of encouragement wouldn't be amiss. You'll be back on your feet in no time. I'll get things ready and be back soon. Peter, let's talk about how we can help you. I have some suggestions for treatment.
I'm listening.
You need to start eating again, even if you don't have an appetite. First, ask Mladder to get you some honey and add it to your gruel.
You think some honey is gonna save me?
It'll give you stamina without irritating your stomach, first of all. But you have to admit Mother Nature has it well thought out. Where bloodwort helps with bleeding and feverfew with fevers, honey coats your humours so that they can't get out of balance so easily. Any melancholia wanting to take hold of you would have to make its way through thick honey, so it could hardly get from your stomach to your head. And soon you'll be as busy as a bee again, and getting on swimmingly. Which brings me to my next piece of advice. Start eating fish more regularly. Some nice fatty ones, ideally. Fat in the belly will surely stop gloom from getting through. Same as with the honey.
I suppose that makes sense.
You should drink the chamomile decoction. If you wait a while... Listen, Peter. I know you're worried about the army that's passing through the country. I'm not much of a speaker, but let me tell you something from the heart. If you're scared of Sigismund's soldiers, trust me when I tell you, when it comes down to it, it ends up being a one-on-one fight. And you'd be surprised how much strength and courage you can find when you're backed into a corner. So don't run from your fear. Laugh in its face instead.
I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about Mladder.
Then keep reminding yourself of that. Look at me, a blacksmith's son. Why do you think I am who I am now? Because I decided I'll never turn my back on my loved ones again.
You're right. I mustn't leave Mladder to fend for herself.
Don't run from the fight. Especially the one going on inside your head. Wait a moment. I examined Peter. His body is fine, but he's plagued by a crippling restlessness of soul.
What are we going to do about it? How do you heal the soul? A cold compress? Prayer?
Prayer certainly won't hurt, but don't worry. There are several things that could help Peter. Making the chamomile decoction is important. It's made of wine, chamomile, and sage. You boil them briefly together and strain it. It's not hard, and even if you don't do it exactly right, it'll still help Peter.
Would you bring him some? before I learn to brew it.
I'll get everything. Just keep at it and don't give up.
Very well. But hurry. I'm worried about what's going on in his head. And that he'll do something to himself the Lord can never forgive.
God be with you, sir.
Peter, it's me again. I want to discuss your treatment. You should drink the chamomile decoction.
Great. Another potion.
This one will help you sleep. Once your body gets used to sleeping at night and staying awake during the day, you'll feel much better. You'll see. Proper sleep will chase away the gloom. And if restlessness tries to take hold of you again, your body will have the strength to fight it. Every morning you'll be stronger and stronger until you're able to work again.
We'll see about that.
A bit of prayer won't hurt. Lord, have mercy on Peter here, and lift from him the weight of his affliction. For you have laid upon him this affliction to try him. And you see that Peter, O Lord, endures your trial patiently and without contradiction. Unless you, O Lord, relieve Peter of his illness, no physician in the world can. I beg of you, O Lord, heal his soul and let his body once again find its lost balance. Amen.
Amen.
I didn't want to leave anything to chance, so I cast a spell here.
What kind of spell?
I buried protective relics here on your property.
Where did you bury them?
I can't tell you that, naturally. If I told you, they'd lose their protective powers.
And what did you bury?
A battle axe. It belonged to a warrior who fought at Nicopolis. He's a priest now. He fought with Sigismund there.
One of Sigismund's soldiers? Then you've cursed us, not protected us.
On the contrary. The axe knows Sigismund's tactical weaknesses. That's why I chose it. I also added a monk's bone.
What monk?
One from Sasau. He performed great miracles there, helping refugees from the war and aiding the construction of the monastery. It's no chicken bone from a charlatan. And finally, I buried some eggs.
Eggs?
Seeds of life. If the army really does attack, these three things will protect you. They will weaken the soldiers, help you escape, and when you return to the village after the siege, life will blossom here again.
I thank you very much.
Well then, I've done everything I can. Things will get better, Peter. You'll see. Anyway, I'll come back to see you in a few days. I examined Peter, found out what I could, and tried to cure him. I'll come back to see you in a few days. Until then, it's hard to say how things will turn out.
Thank you. I'll pray for you and for Peter's recovery.
Besides praying, don't forget about the chamomile decoctions.
I won't. Thank you very much, Henry. I hope things turn out all right.
See you soon, my friend.
Henry! Henry!
How is Peter doing?
Henry, you won't believe it. It worked. Peter got up in the morning. You could see that he was struggling, but then something in him snapped into place and he just went to work. I can tell he's still fighting something inside his head. He'll stop for a moment, take a deep breath, then continue working. I reckon he wants to discuss something with the others in the village, but I don't know if he has the strength for it now. But regardless, it went away as quickly as it came. I can't thank you enough.
Just keep giving him hope, so that he doesn't fall back into gloom.
I will. You can count on it.
I'm glad I could help. But don't forget our deal. The Thunderstone is mine now.
But the stone helped Peter. We need it. and I'll never be able to afford another one. It'll protect our homestead. And what if Peter's illness returns? Then I'll need the stone again.
The stone has great power, but it's used up all the strength it had for you. Now it's time for it to help others.
You're right. Here, it's rightfully yours. It's hard to give it up, knowing how much I spent on it. That's why I can't give you anything else as a reward right now. But believe me, I'll spread the word of how you helped us around the village.
Thank you. That's good enough for me.
See you later, my friend.
Have you lost something?
Quite the opposite, my friend. I am finding something. Treasure, to be exact, if it matters to you.
Treasure? Where is it?
I don't know yet, but this map here says it should be somewhere around here. At least I hope so.
Maybe I could look at the map? I might be able to help you.
Well, I am a bit stumped. I need all the advice I can get, but you'll give it back, understand?
Of course. Don't worry.
Give it back, you hear me?
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, you've been deceived.
What?
This is no map. I've seen a fair few in my time, and this is just a bunch of scribbles.
What? But how can you tell?
Well, I thought it was odd just from the parchment it was scrawled on. It's very delicate, and the lines... It looks like no map I've ever seen. Sorry.
Fuck. You might as well keep it then.
I've got a few questions.
Of course.
You really think this Thunderstone can help you?
Well, why else would I want it?
I'm just wondering if it wouldn't be better to handle it a little more like a good Christian. Go to church, petition a saint, or go on a pilgrimage to Prague, perhaps, or to Regensburg, Rome.
Take a look around you. Do you really expect me to go on a pilgrimage right now? Anyway, of course I went to church and prayed to Our Lady, our protector. And she sent me you.
All right, I get it. Thanks. I think I have all I need to know. I found the Thunderstone.
Really? Oh, God bless you, Henry. Without the stone, I don't know what I would do. Or what else could help me.
Well, you don't have to worry about that now. Take the stone. I hope it helps you.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how much this means to me. This stone will make giving birth easier and save my baby's life.
Glad to have been of service.
I'll get Hannah to give you a lower price at the stud farm, as I promised. And you know what? I'll share a piece of wisdom my grandmother taught me. She said you need to brew nightshade with twice as much mugwort and a good splash of brandy. That's how to fix a concoction that'll clean you out at both ends and cure all sorts of ills. She used it on me after I gave birth and said it saved my life. So it could come in handy for you too sometime.
Thanks. That sounds, let's not say dangerous exactly, but definitely fascinating. I'll just make a quick note so I don't forget. I'm not sure I'll ever muster the courage to try it, though.
Think nothing of it. And if you want, stop by and talk to my husband, Stamir. He's a very skilled man. And since you've been so helpful, if you like, perhaps he'll let you in on some of his blacksmithing secrets. Oh, and I also have some money put aside for emergencies, so you can have that. It's not much, but it's all I can give you.
Hold on to your money. I'm sure it'll come in handy for you at some point. I was glad I could help. So let's leave it at that.
Oh, Mother Mary. What a noble man you are. Thank you.